Hello and welcome to your Grace Grit and Everything in Between podcast with me, Ellie Allen Bush. So, this episode is It All Starts with Self. Everything starts with you. Your peace, your growth, your freedom, your healing. In this episode, I will share how focusing on myself this past life, the past 4 years or so, has brought me more joy, more calm, connection, and clarity than ever before. I'm going to talk about self development, self esteem, self control, and self care. Not as buzzwords, but as daily practices that change your energy, your relationships, and your direction. I'm the same as you. The only difference is I found my way forward, and now I get to turn back and help you do the same. Together, we'll learn to love every version of ourselves and navigate the messes to find the message. Because nothing is permanent and everything is temporary. So, this past year, or 4 years, I found more peace. Well, yeah, in this last year, I found more peace, more freedom, and more growth, personal growth. Real friendships than I've ever had in my whole entire life. And the only thing that I changed was me. Everything starts with you. Your self-development, your self-esteem, your self-control, your self-care. I'm not different from you. I just found my way forward and now I'm here to help you do the same. So, if you're ready to love every version of yourself and learn how to turn your mess into the message, this is for you. This episode is for you. So, let's start with self-awareness. When you're starting with self-awareness, ask yourself what's draining me and what's feeding me. Write them down. Like you know how you would write a pro and con list for a decision, perhaps. If you're really gonna start this journey with me, this is homework. So right at the top of the page, what's draining me, and what's feeding me. Awareness is the first step to change. So this is you saying, do you know what? I've had enough. This is where I'm going to put a line in the sand and I'm going to start moving forward. So on that list that's draining you, it could be soaps that you're watching on the television, news that you're watching on the television, um, family members, friends, posts on social media. What's feeding you could be that you found a really good podcast, um, or that you have a really good friend that's always checking in, or that, do you know what, you're in a nice workplace and when you're at work, you don't really have to worry about anything else. Another tip that I would highly recommend is journal. Do a journal honestly. Each morning or night, write one line. How do I feel right now? And what do I need? That simple check-in reconnects you to you. And when you journal, it's best, one of these, like I started journaling when I was 13 and three quarters. Remember when there was Adrian Mole? I think he was 13 and three quarters or something. And that's what gave me the idea. I was never allowed to watch that, but I thought, do you know what? I'm going to start journaling. And do you know what? That helped massively get me through my teenage years. I don't so much do it now unless I'm really troubled by something. But journaling is really good to empty your head of everything at the end of the day, all your thoughts, all your kind of hardships, things that are getting you down, things that are challenging, things that you've had enough of, and then just make sure you are closing that journal at the end of the day. Once you finish writing, there's something that happens psychologically in your head that when you close the journal, you are closing off the day, which should allow you to get a better night's sleep. Create micro moments of care. You don't need a spa day. Just pause to breathe, stretch, drink water or go for a walk outside. Small moments of self-care compound into self-respect. Now, one thing that I have always instilled in my life since I was 16 years old was a skincare routine. And this has been a non-negotiable for my whole life. And I didn't quite realize how bad I was when I had that first breakdown that I stopped doing the skincare routine. I never used to wear makeup really, it never really went out, but skincare was my thing. I hated my skin. It was very oily, and everything I used, I was using the wrong products, but I was still doing it. I was still showing up every single morning and night, spending about 4 minutes on myself. And as I say, when I first had my first breakdown, that was one of the things that I wish I hadn't stopped doing, because the minute I stopped focusing on me, everything, everything crashed. Now, I say, this is my saying, you got to take care of Mama Bear, because if Mama Bear goes down, the whole ship sinks. And it's so true. You might think that you've got no time, but then you're telling yourself you've got no time for yourself. And that, again, is such a negative energy to put into your body, into your mind, that you have not got time for yourself. Those sorts of things that I've obviously, when I've dealt with clients in the past and they've turned around and said to me, I haven't got time for self-care, like skincare routine. And I'm sorry, you haven't got 4 minutes for yourself in the morning and at night. Out of 24 hours of the day, you haven't got 4 minutes in the morning and at night for yourself. So if you're not doing a skincare routine, start. And I can help you with that because I have many, many products. And as a qualified skincare specialist, I know what I'm talking about. Drink water. Doesn't have to be gallons and gallons of water. 1.5 liters a day is what your body requires. That is it. That is the minimum your body requires. It doesn't have to be flavorless water. It can have squash in it. It can be kind of tea and coffee, but obviously those again is quite detrimental if you have too much of that. But if you can have 1.5 liters of water a day, that's all you need for your body. That is the minimum amount. And I've done nutrition courses. I do know what I'm talking about and do know what your body needs and what is too much. You don't need to be, if a friend's drinking 3 liters of water a day and you're not a very big water drinker, don't just think, oh, well, I can't drink 3 liters of water a day. What's the point? Start start drinking 1.5 liters and know when you are drinking 1.5 liters of water that you are doing what your body needs for you. Stretching, walking, exercise, 15 minutes a day. Again, everyone's got 15 minutes a day. Turn off the telly. Stop watching the news. Stop watching your soaps, the drama in your soaps. Stop. Just stop. Just choose to not have them control you. Remember that it's your brain, your body. You control what you watch. Don't let the dictation of soaps get you addicted that you are drawn into the drama. Turn them off. You control what you watch on the television. You control when you watch the television. It does help with a lot of things. So 15 minutes of exercise a day. There is someone on YouTube called Holly Doki. She does really short, very effective, very impactful workout routines. Stick to the same one if you want, or do different one every single day, but do one. Even if it is 15 minutes in the evening, because you haven't had a chance to do it all the day. These are the things that you will start doing to take your life back, take that control back, and make you feel like you can move forward. Walk outside. It doesn't have to be a long hour walk. It could just be a 15-minute walk to the shop and back. But just when you're out there, take note of the colours around you. Take note of what the sky looks like. Take note of how the buildings look. Find yourself more being thankful and grateful for what you can see, hear, smell. When you're on that is a very good grounding technique, that. Practice emotional self-control. So before reacting to anything, pause and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Learning to respond, not react, protects your energy. So no is a full sentence. Silence is also a full sentence. It's an answer. Don't feel pressurized by other people, other commitments. If you don't want to, say, go on a social evening, it sounded lovely. You were all prepared for it, but now it's tonight. I'm really not feeling it. You're entitled to say no. I don't want to go. You're entitled to change your mind. You're entitled to take, as I say, this control back on yourself. Because normally when you're in a kind of situation, a very challenging time where you feel like everyone's taking from you, like you cannot give anything more to anyone else. These are the little steps that you can put in place to give you back. Rebuild self-esteem through action. Keep small promises to yourself, even one a day. Confidence grows from consistency, not perfection. So there's one little task that I say to my clients, as well as the journaling, is if they've got a long list of things that they would like to do, or need to do, or are required to do, write a list before you go to bed. So after you've journaled, write a list with 5 things on that list. And one of them could be make your bed. But those 5 things are non-negotiable. You have to do them the next day. Don't fill them with 3-hour long tasks, but be mindful that, do you know what? I'm going to put make my bed on there because that's ticked, done. Again, it's something psychologically in your brain that when you are ticking off or crossing off something that you've achieved throughout your day, you feel so proactive. You feel like you're getting somewhere, and it is like a reset. So I highly recommend doing that. And if any of these tips, actually, you do put them into practice and are working, I would love for you to get in touch with me in the Facebook group. Check your energy chart. So if you don't know what an energy chart is, I have got one on my phone. I will show you it. Now, your energy is important. If you are stuck in a negative energy, where you're just, why me? Why is this happening to me? Oh, I don't get any luck. Oh, I just get all that. Doesn't stop. It's one thing after another. And that is because you're attracting it into your life. And, you might think that's rubbish. What you focus on, you create. If you are always looking for negative, you will see the negatives. It's really important to try and spin that. And I'm not saying that's going to happen overnight, but it does help if you have got time or 5 minutes. If something is really getting you down, write the positives to it and the negatives to it. Focus on the positives of it. How can you flip this up? So, am I operating from fear, frustration, or freedom today? How can I shift one step higher on my energy scale from stress to calm, from doubt to curiosity, from survival to creation? So let me show you what an energy chart looks like. So this is one of them. Can you see at the bottom there, it says powerlessness, unworthiness, shame. The next one above is stuck, fear, grief, self-loathing. Guilt, insecure, depressed, hate, rage, jealousy, resentment. Like these are all really negative energies that will have an impact on your day to day and will have an impact on your self-esteem, your confidence, your health as well. Because like I shared last week, if your body and your mind is at dis-ease, you will find that you are attracting a lot more health challenges than if you can flip the switch and actually look for positives. So it gets to neutral, relaxed. So above the hate, rage, jealousy, resentment, there's anger, revenge, greed, lack. Greed is not a good energy to be in. Like, you think sometimes that, it's, you feel like sometimes you're being humble and you've got to ask yourself, like, am I going for all these things because I want them or because there's something inside of me that just wants everything? Like, but from a greed kind of sense. Um, Discouraged if you're feeling difficult, everything's difficult, you're worrying about something, or you're being blamed, or you feel like you're being blamed for things, you're bored, or you're doubting what you do in your life, overwhelmed, anxiety, frustrated, irritated, pessimistic, impatient, relieved, apathy. And then you've got your neutral and relaxed. So if you are feeling any of those things, those energies, try and flip the switch. So on the the positive ones, you've got peace, calm, content, okay, dedicated, motivated, hopeful, strong, optimistic, trusting the universe, trusting to just let things flow, confidence, happiness, enthusiasm, empowerment, fun, abundance, generosity. Now, there is a new kind of thing as well. When I say things about doing gratitude, so that's another thing that you can do each morning. You could literally write 3 things that you're grateful for, and every single day those things have got to be different. But I'm going to challenge you, because being grateful for things and thankful for things actually gets quite easy when you start. You like when you get into the flow of it and you're going, oh, my comfy bed, good night's sleep, a soft pillow, a warm duvet. Like these are all basic things. I want you to then think of things that you have as a luxury that no one else has. What have you got in your life that's a luxury that no one else has? Because that kind of level of that energy is high. It's very high. And once you can start focusing on what you've got and being grateful for what you've got, and you can flip the switch on all the negative, and it, like, I'm not going to tell you that life's going to be easy from now on. It's not. It's not. Let's face it, it's not. We've all got this life that we've chosen. The challenges that we get, we have to deal with to grow, to learn a lesson for whatever reason. But they will keep coming. It's like as soon as you feel like you got to the top of the mountain, you're going to have to fall down again. Life is like a heartbeat. So if you look on the screen, it goes up and down. Think of that. That is literally, and I can tell you why to think of life like a heartbeat. So when you get to 80 years old, and you've literally had the easiest life in the world. It's like a flat line because you've had the easiest life. And someone says to you, when you're 80, what was the best thing that happened to you in your life? But everything was the best thing. So there is no highs, no lows. There's just this. It's really hard for you to remember flat line. The reason why our lives are very like a heartbeat, up and down and front, because we get on autopilot. Then we get really highs, excitement, lessons, learn, we're happy, it feels amazing. Then we fall back down, and then there's a challenge. We've got to get back up again. And that wakes you up from the autopilot, makes you grateful for what you've got, and makes you strong enough to get on to the next bit. So when you do get asked the question at 80, what was the best bit of your life? You can go, oh, do you know what? At 22, I went to New York on my own and I went to watch Phantom of the Opera, and it was amazing. If you then focus on your highs throughout your life, all the bad things just go because they've been for a reason. They've taught you what you needed to learn so you could have that high. So there will be challenges because you've got to be woken up from autopilot, because believe me, you do not want to get to 80 and have the easiest life in the world. You don't. You might think you do, but you don't. You want to get to 80 and have memories. You want to remember all the highs. You want to be able to reminisce and just be happy. So that is why if you are focusing on all the lows, you're not going to be seeing the highs. You've got to be seeing the highs. So, and practice self-compassion. You don't have to love every part of yourself right now. Just stop abandoning yourself when things get hard, because that's when your true growth starts. So, I'm on a weight loss journey. I've been on a weight loss journey for a long time now. Um, I used to love my arms. They were like my favorite thing before I gained weight. I just loved my arms. They were toned, they were strong, they like lifted things, they enabled me to earn money. And then I put on a lot of weight and I lost a lot of muscle and they all went. But my focus is I want my arms back. Like I really loved my arms and I will really love my arms again. I love my eyes. There is certain things that you just need to focus on what you love about yourself. Just ignore everything that you don't love about yourself right now because we are flipping the switch. We are going to do this step. We know now why we feel like that because last week we went over the brain and why you are feeling the way you are feeling. Now these are the tools. These are the things for you to put in place to start. And another thing is obviously nutrition. Again, I can help you with that as well. If you need, just contact me via the Facebook group. But your body has to be well enough to look after you when you are falling apart. So if you are doing these little things to help your mind, help you feel like you're in control, help you get yourself back. Self-development is literally listening to books or listening to a 10-minute motivational YouTube, something that will pick you up each day. And you can, if you're having a bad day, like you wake up in a bad mood, you had a bad dream, because let's face it, you have a bad dream and it affects the whole day. Don't let it. Put on a motivational 10-minute thing while you're getting dressed in the morning. And Tony Robbins is amazing for building you up. But there is quite a few people that I listen to when I wake up in the morning that I just need that little bit of oomph to just get rid of, because I had a lot of nightmares when I was obviously recording the first 5 episodes of this podcast because I was bringing old things back to the surface. So literally self-development, there is Audible's great. I have got so many books that I can recommend you listening to. So basically now you kind of get an idea of what I do when I have my clients. I help women align with what they want. I take where they are, I ask for a glimpse of where they were, what got them here, and it's up to them whether or not they share or not, like the trauma. But that doesn't concern me. The trauma doesn't concern me because I know that I can help people get through it. I can help people get through and see the results on the other side because I've done it with myself. And I do have a few clients that I have seen remarkable results with. But I can't make anyone choose me to help them. But if you do decide to choose me, then it is my mission to help you align and live the life that you desire. So these podcasts will help, these weekly podcasts that I'm going to be sharing with you, with the tools. If you take on the tips, if you take on what I've shared with you today, the tools, then you will still see an improvement. Remember, 21 days becomes a habit. That's the aim. That's the first goal. Get to 21 days. 90 days, it will change your life. And if you just think that, literally, I'm going to give myself 90 days. I guarantee within the 90 days, you would have looked back, you would have gained so much insight, you would have achieved so much, you would be in a better place mentally, and you will literally be on the way to getting what you want now. But I can't make you do that. Only you can. Like, no one's coming to save you. No one came to save me. I've got loads of tools that I've picked up along the way. I've done numerous courses, and I can share all that. But no one is coming to save you. No one. You have no one. You have yourself. So if you are entertaining things that are getting you down, stop. You control that. Just decide today. Do you know what? I'm going to start journaling. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to ensure I sleep 9 hours a night because as we get older, we need more sleep momentarily. I'm gonna embrace that whatever I'm going through is temporary. I need to learn the lesson and I can move on. I am the same as you. As I said earlier, the only difference is I found my way forward and now I am living in a peaceful, calm, very free life, which I never kind of envisioned being in. So there we go. In this episode, obviously, I've shared with you some tips and tricks that I know will help you through to actually get your brain on your side. It does start with you. So start self-care, start self-development, build your self-esteem, build that confidence. If you need anything at all, as I said, reach out to me in the Facebook group, or I think that you can comment on these videos. But yeah, that's it for now. Um, remember to get that energy chart. I will post the one I've got in my Facebook group for anyone that is in there so they can kind of gauge it themselves. But all remember this, almost every successful person begins with two beliefs. The future can be better than the present, and I have the power to make it so. Until next week, have a great one.